Finally, some good news out of the U.S. Supreme Court. Today is Wednesday, May 22nd. We got a tie decision this morning. The Supreme Court on Thursday said in a 4-4 ruling that Oklahoma cannot create the nation's first religious charter school funded directly with taxpayer dollars. I had done a couple of videos on this a few weeks ago when the Supreme Court heard the oral arguments in this case, and I don't think that I was being hyperbolic when I said that if the Supreme Court decided this case wrong, that would be the end of the separation of church and state. The court has been inching towards that for years. And Amy Coney Barrett recused herself from the case. She didn't issue a statement as to why she did that, but it's been pretty widely reported that she was very close friends with someone who was involved on the church side of this case. And so she recused herself. And the interesting thing was listening to the oral arguments in this case, and the reason that I felt that it was going to be the end of church and state is because I thought it was going to be a 5-3 decision. I'll read ahead for a second. The brief ruling is one of the most anticipated cases of the term. It came as a surprise after the oral arguments in April. A majority of the justices appeared to be open to allowing Oklahoma to use government money to run the nation's first religious charter school. Listening to the oral arguments in this case, I thought it was going to be a 5-3 decision allowing Oklahoma to do this. Brett Kavanaugh was like, this is great, man. This is fantastic. I don't have any problem with this at all. Saying that from the bench. I mean, his questioning and commentary was ridiculous. It was borderline parody. But one of the 5 men on the court joined the 3 liberal women. My best guess is that was Chief Justice John Roberts. A ruling for the St. Isidore of Seville Catholic Virtual School would have allowed for the first time ever direct and complete taxpayer funding to establish a faith-based school, sanctioning government sponsorship of a curriculum that calls for students to adhere to Catholic beliefs and the church's religious mission. The Supreme Court issued a one-line opinion upholding the Oklahoma Supreme Court's ruling, and that was the weird thing about this. This was done in Oklahoma. The Attorney General of Oklahoma was like, you can't do that. That violates separation of church and state. And the obviously very conservative state Supreme Court in Oklahoma also was like, yeah, you can't do this, and issued a ruling saying that they couldn't do it because this was a tie decision in the Supreme Court. That leaves that lower court ruling in place. This is the sentence that was issued by the court. The judgment is affirmed by an equally divided court. That's it. That's the entire decision. It was 4-4. It was unsigned, and we don't know which conservative flipped to the liberal side. But again, I think it was Chief Justice Roberts. The decision is a setback for religious freedom movement that has notched major gains in recent years under the Supreme Court's current conservative majority, including rulings allowing the use of taxpayer-funded school vouchers, scholarships, capital improvements, and grants by religious organizations. First Liberty, a major religious rights advocacy group behind faith-based cases at the High Court, represented the Oklahoma State School Superintendent Ryan Walters. He's the guy who he wants the 10 Commandments in every classroom, and he wants a Bible in every classroom. And he, along with the Oklahoma State Legislature, I think allocated something like $3 million to buy Trump Bibles from Trump's website. Yeah, I'm not kidding. Oklahoma State School Superintendent Ryan Walters vowed to keep fighting for these religious charter schools. Quote, allowing the exclusion of religious schools from our charter school program in the name of 19th century religious bigotry is wrong. That's the entire point of separation of church and state, you potato. As state superintendent, I will always stand with parents and families in opposition to religious discrimination and fight until all children in Oklahoma are forcibly indoctrinated into this bullshit religion. Excuse me, I misread that part. I will fight until all children in Oklahoma are free to choose the school that serves them best, religious or otherwise, unless that religion is Judaism or Islam. Fuck you, Ryan Walters. Good day in the court today.